guys, today is Sunday, and I thought I'd do a couple of different videos for you. They're not on sort of makeup or beauty or anything, but I am very fortunate that I get to go to lots of red carpet events and gala dinners and charity dinners, and it's not something that I've been brought up going to, so it's only been since meeting my husband. And I come from a very normal background where it wasn't very normal to go to these events. So when I started going to my first few years ago, maybe about 10 years ago now, I found them very daunting because I didn't know sort of how to behave, not how to behave, but how to sort of act and what the right things were to do. I mean, I've been brought up obviously with manners and I know how to conduct myself, but there are certain rules and sort of etiquette things that you need to be doing at these events, and luckily Derek has really helped me, and I sort of follow what everyone else does. But I just thought I'd do this video and make see if I could give you some tips if you've got a red carpet event coming up or a dinner, especially now we're getting into sort of September time. Christmas events are going to be coming up over the next few months, and work do's and charity events and everything. So I just thought I'd give you a few tips, things that I've learned. Now this is not something that anybody's told me, this is just things that Derek's helped me out with and things that I've learned, and mistakes. I've made many mistakes at both red carpets and at dinners, so I've learned by them and I've made a little list. I'm not going to say it's in order because it's not, but I've sort of made a few notes of things that I have learned to do and not to do. So the video after this is going to be about being at a gala dinner and the things that I find have helped me through the years of sort of making sure that I enjoy it and I don't feel out of place and I don't feel that that I'm doing something wrong. But today's video is going to be about red carpet, because obviously it's very different being on a red carpet than just turning up at an event, walking through the door and there's nobody sort of there waiting for you. Now I'm not saying for a second that there's anybody waiting to photograph me. Of course they're not. They don't know who I am at all, but they are there and they want to photograph Derek, and of course unless they specifically ask to have Derek on their own, which they have done, and you just sort of slide away gracefully, but usually they want a picture of us together, and it's something that you sort of have to get used to, because all of a sudden that picture's taken and then it's put on the internet and that's it. And I still see some pictures now of me on the internet and think, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Why did I wear that? Or look at my makeup, or oh good, yeah, it's awful. So so these are just mistakes that I've made. Right, so let's start. Okay, so regards what you're going to wear. I've been to, say, like a film premiere that's been in the day, so obviously it's going to be daylight. You don't want to be in a gown or anything in the day, so to events like that I've worn maybe some nice trousers and a jacket, or a summer dress or something. And you have to think of things like what the weather's like. You don't want to be caught getting wet. You don't want to be in a dress that's quite flowy where the wind can sort of take it, because you know at that point when you're on the carpet the wind is going to go under your skirt. It's just going to happen, it's just the way it is. So you have to be thinking of the wind, of if it's really sunny, you don't want to be really hot and sweaty because you might be kept up there for quite a while. Heels, walking, because people will take photos when you're sort of stumbling around, and I love my heels and I love big heels and platforms, but they're not always that practical to walk in, especially when you're having to walk, so like through Leicester Square in front of loads of people, and the last thing you want to do is fall or trip, because right, Bentley, you're going to have to go because you're just going to get in my way. Yeah, so I always wear heels, but I don't go for really sort of stupid heels if I'm having to walk down the carpet and everything, because it's just embarrassing if you sort of trip or something. I mean, I do hold on to Derek as much as possible, but like you say, there's times when people want to sort of speak to him on their own and interview him on your own, and then you just sort of stood there, and if you can't move, it's not good. I never wear a new outfit. I know that sounds really stupid. I never go out that day or that week and buy a new outfit, because the thing that you find is if people are going to an event, of course they're going to go out and buy something new, and the worst thing you want to do is be photographed with someone else in the same outfit, or walking down the carpet with someone in the same outfit. You don't want that. So I usually sort of dig out something that I've had for a year or two, because at the end of the day, it's still, if it still fits and it still looks good, what's the problem? You know, no one's going to go, oh my god, that was like 2 years ago. No one's going to know that. So it's very important what you wear. Make sure that whoever you're with, whether you're with a boyfriend, a friend, your mum, whoever it is, that you match, that you sort of complement each other, because obviously you are going to be photographed together. If you've got a handbag, I remember going to an event once when I had a great big, huge big handbag with me, and it just didn't look right in the photo, so I was having to sort of put it away from me for the photos to be taken, and that was a bit awkward, so I wouldn't do that again. Right, I'm just going to go down the list, and I might come back to things. Okay, so as regards to makeup, again, it depends if it's in the day, if it's in the night. Be careful of your makeup, because obviously daylight makeup will photograph very differently than obviously evening makeup with all the flashes and everything. With a flash, you obviously have to be careful of SPFs and HD makeup and all those things. Try and get someone to take some sort of flash photography at home beforehand, just so you see how it photographs. I had a horrendous issue once with eyelashes, where I thought they looked okay, but these days all these cameras pick up absolutely everything, and in the photos, when I looked at them on the internet, my eyelashes looked horrendous. Oh my goodness, it was so embarrassing. They looked awful. They looked like literally my dog had stuck them on. They looked awful, and there's nothing you can do. The picture's out there now, it's done. So yeah, think of all your makeup, your eyelashes, think of your makeup not being too much in the day, but then in the evening you want it to be quite strong, because you don't want to lose, you know, you don't want it to get lost in all the flash or anything. Fake tan as well. I'm terrible for sort of fake tan not looking the best from sort of day to day, but take care of it when you're at these events, because the cameras will pick it up, and you know, if you've got marks down your hands, the cameras will definitely pick it up. Okay, so smiling. When you're in front of loads of photographers and they're all screaming at you to smile, you've got them going left, right, blah, 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 it's really difficult. And I didn't know how to sort of do that at first. Derek seemed to do it perfectly. So what I've learned is that you can't just carry on smiling for 10 minutes. It's just ridiculous, because then you get that sort of shaky lip. So what I now do is I will focus on a camera, I'll smile at it, then I'll relax my smile, then I'll focus at another camera. So if you just keep focusing sort of left, up, down, right, eventually they will all get the photo they want. It's obviously, it helps if you both look at the same camera, but that's just impossible, because I'll be looking this way and Derek will be looking that way. So it's just the way it goes. But as long as he's not looking that way and you've got a crooked face or something, you just got to, you know, go with it. At the end of the day, they're not there to photograph me. They just want the photo of him. But you're still going to be in that photo with him, so you still need to I still need to look good, or as good as I can. So yeah, so I sort of go, I smile, and then I take as many breaks as possible, so that to get rid of that sort of that achiness from your mouth, because you could be doing it, you could be there for ages. Parking, again, it depends on how far. I mean, you know, if the like say if the event's in Leicester Square, you know, you can't park outside and just sort of step in. At some events you can just literally, the car will bring you up to the door, you get out and you haven't got far to walk, but you know, you might have ages to walk, so you have got to think of everything when it comes to you know, walking, and again, like the weather. I always do a lot of research before any of these events, so I work out if there's a theme, I work out where the event's going to be, what the entrance is going to be like. Like I've been to an event before where the red carpet wasn't red, it was blue. So think of these things, and then you'll know what colours to wear on the red carpet. I mean, most of the time it's red, obviously, but they do try and sort of make them different colours, so that makes a difference. Okay, so jewellery. obviously you can, you know, if you've got jewellery on with your outfit, especially if it's an evening outfit, one of the little tips that I sometimes use is obviously to wear different diamond jewellery to every event is just ridiculous and expensive. So one of the things that I do is, obviously costume jewellery these days is amazing, but it doesn't last very long. So if you know that you've got a big event coming up, buy some costume jewellery for your outfit, and when it's brand new, when you've just bought it, it will sparkle, it looks amazing, and as long as it's not too over the top, you can get away with it looking really authentic and real. So if you know you've got an event and you know you've got your dress and everything, go out and buy yourself some costume jewellery, something that looks, you know, like diamonds. Wear it for the first time on that evening, and it will just sparkle, and it will pick up the light, and people will presume it's real. Okay, so obviously as the weather gets colder, you're gonna have to think of a coat. So this goes back to the sort of the outfit. I've been to an event before, I think it was at the O2, where it was so cold, it was freezing, and we had a long way to walk from the car to the event. So I decided to make my coat the outfit. So I wore a bright red coat and then kept everything else very minimal and black. Had a little handbag to match, and I didn't take my coat off all the time that I was outside. But obviously, if you've got a really nice gown, a really nice dress, whatever it is, you don't want to then have a coat on, because they will photograph you in that coat. So unfortunately, that you're going to have to sort of freeze, and it's especially for a woman. Men have got their jackets, it's fine, but for women it's really difficult. And I've been freezing on a red carpet before, just because I wanted them to photograph the dress and not have, you know, me with the coat on. But you just have to, you know, not shiver too much. So practicing your pose, this is another thing that I've done wrong so many times, and I just didn't seem to get it right. I think I've got it right now, and it's just standing in front of the mirror, just doing a few poses in heels, with a handbag, you know, with your hand on your hip, just doing a few different ones just to see which one works for you. Practice posing with your partner, because obviously, you know, when you're posing together, you can't then have your hand on your hip and everything. So I just do a few things, and I think I've got it okay now, and I do the same sort of things all the time, and it works out that me and Derek always seem to stand on the same side of each other, and it just seems to work. If there's stairs at the event, that's another thing. I'm terrible with stairs. Going up them I'm not too bad with, but what you also should remember is the red carpet will be there for all evening, so you're photographed going in, but then they'll also be waiting for you when you're photographed to come out, and that's the time when you don't want to be stumbling out, you don't want to be drunk, you don't want to be carrying your shoes in your hand, you don't want to be slagging off the place of how crap it was, because they will photograph all that. So you want to try and look as good on the way out as you did on the way in. And of course stairs downwards are even worse, so just sort of hold your drink throughout the event so that you can still walk out gracefully and be pictured okay. The last one I've got here is don't chew gum. I am always chewing gum, always. I love chewing gum. So, and I have gone onto red carpets with gum in my mouth, but just be wary of it, and obviously don't stand there chewing gum while you're walking up and down or whatever it is. And either get rid of it beforehand, or, you know, if you can sort of stop chewing for a while, then that's the best thing, because you don't want to be photographed with a nice big smile and a bit of chewing gum sort of stuck in the side of your teeth. Doesn't ever look good. I think that's all the tips I've got. If you can think of any others that I've forgotten, please, I'm always open for new tips that I haven't, you know, because it's the worst place to make mistakes, and I have made mistakes, and I'm sure I will make many more mistakes. It's just the way it goes. I've had many sort of wardrobe disasters on the red carpet, especially with all these new cameras. They just pick up everything. I've had my nipples on show. I've worn dresses where nipples are sticking. Oh, just awful. Oh, it's just not good. You've got to think about your cleavage. You just got to think of everything. It's just really, really difficult. But yeah, so I hope this has sort of given you a few tips if you do have some events coming up, or you just wanted to sort of, you know, learn what to do when an event comes up. And yeah, like I said, the video to follow this will be sort of what I've learned do and don't at a dinner, a gala dinner, because again there's so many rules of what knife and fork you use and all this business. So that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.